You forget 1,000 things every day, pal. You better hope hitting the subscribe button isn't one of them. Oh man, it seems like just yesterday Grand Theft Auto 5 came out, but it's actually been an entire decade since its initial release. In December of 2023, the first trailer for GTA 6 dropped, and I'm super excited to check that out. GTA 6 isn't slated to release until 2025, and we don't even really know when that's going to be happening. So there's only one thing to do in the meantime. I played a load of GTA 5 on the Xbox 360 at launch, but I'm still missing all of the Steam trophies. This video was originally going to include all of the achievements featuring both the single player and GTA Online, but a couple of those online achievements have become a sticking point. So today we're going to focus on the single player, and hopefully we can wrap up the multiplayer and get that video out in a little bit. I hope you enjoy doing everything in GTA 5. The game begins 9 years before the main plot in Ludendorff, North Yankton, in the midst of a bank robbery. We whip out a circa 2004 cell phone that we use to detonate an explosive placed on the bank vault door. Hey, that's the guy from the cover of the game. We get busted, but Michael says his iconic line and we switch characters and ice the guard. We shoot our way out of the bank and we're making our escape until we just barely get hit by a speeding train. We ditch the car and start moving away on foot when a suspiciously located man with a sniper rifle shoots out one of our bank robbing buddies. We try to help him, but we go down as well, encouraging the third member of our crew to run away. We cut to a funeral scene and the mysterious sniper is there. Oh no! Oh, but hey, that's the guy from the cover. He's standing outside the fence. Good, he made it. We jump back to the far off future of 2013 and see our main character Michael is in therapy and seems to have done quite well for himself despite his life of crime. When we leave the therapist's office, we get a beautiful shot of LA. Man, this sequence right here is still crazy to this day. It is just beautiful. This is where the rest of the game is going to take place, so we're going to have a lot of time to explore around here. A couple of guys walk up to Michael and ask for directions, and whoa, that's another guy from the cover. Crazy coincidence. Now we're playing as Franklin, a young, ambitious guy looking to make a life in crime without relying on a gang. We steal some cars with our friend Lamar and earn our first achievement, Welcome to Los Santos. We return our stolen cars to our boss Simeon, who is in the middle of making a car sale. Nothing in this shot looks familiar, but maybe we should commit this guy and this car to memory for later. After that, we head back to Franklin's house. He's living with his aunt Denise, and we desperately need to get him out of there. We return to Simeon and do another repo job before we get our first look at the side quests in this game. A lot of them are character specific, and there are an absolute ton of them to check out. I did most of them throughout the story, but we'll get deeper into them in the post-game. So we said Franklin was ambitious, but Lamar is no slouch either. He's always plotting, and he's roped us into some sort of kidnapping plot, but that didn't really pan out for us all that much. After that, we return to do another repo job for Simeon. Simeon is standing outside talking to a guy sitting in a car, and here I discovered an awesome bug that if you're running the game with too high FPS, the car will steadily move forward and hit Simeon, which will fail the mission over and over again. Cool stuff. Eventually, we managed to break out of that loop and break into a house and recover a familiar looking car. Hey, Michael's back, but for some reason he was chilling in the backseat of the car ready for us to steal it, and he's not too happy. He tells us to crash the car through the window of Simeon's shop before we take some revenge with our fists. So now that we have access to two main characters, we get our first glimpse at Michael's loving family, and as great as that family time is, he mostly just wants to chill out by the pool. That works pretty well until Franklin pulls up again, but this time he was technically invited. We see Michael's living in a big house doing well as a criminal, so Franklin wants to get a piece of the game. The conversation gets broken up when Michael's boat gets stolen. Our two characters work together in an attempt to get Michael's son back. We get Jimmy, but lose the boat. The next time Franklin goes to Michael's house, we learn that Michael's wife has been cheating on him with her tennis coach, and we need to take some revenge. We track him down to a big house in the hills, so naturally we pull the house down from said hill. But it turns out that house actually belongs to a scary man named Martin Madrazo that isn't too pleased with us. He wants his $2.5 million back, but we don't have that kind of money right now. So with that debt on our head, we need to find a quick way to make some money, and Michael only knows one way. He reaches out to the old brains of the operation, a guy named Lester who happens to be in town. So we do some quick work for Lester while he thinks about some methods for making real money. Back to Franklin, a guy named Stretch just got out of prison, and Lamar was super excited to get some business set up. Except the business he set up was with that guy that he tried to kidnap earlier, so the plan sort of broke down from there. But we managed to shoot our way out and escape. Meanwhile, Lester has had time to put together a simple jewelry store heist to make us a little bit of walking around money. These heists are a core tenet of what GTA 5 is all about. A lot of the best missions in the story mode and the best earning potential in GTA Online. We make make some small choices on how we want to perform the heist, and then we do some setups to prep our plans that we made. We gather our gang of hardened criminals posing as exterminators before we break into the bank and pull off an absolutely astonishingly efficient heist. We take out a random security guard standing outside and hit him with Michael's classic line, "We are so back, baby." We speed off and manage to secure our loot and our second achievement, Diamond Hard. We celebrate the victory, but fun fact, this game has 3 protagonists, and it's time to meet the third one. That security guy Michael said his line to was on the news, and that word traveled all the way to Michael's old crewmate Trevor, who has assumed Michael was dead since he faked his death 9 years ago. Trevor isn't 100% sure that robbery was Michael yet, so he has his regular chores for the day that he needs to get to, like slaughtering a ton of bikers who have been encroaching on his business. I remember this mission being super difficult, but with a mouse and keyboard, nothing is impossible. When we get back to Trevor's trailer, he sends his lackey Wade into Los Santos to do some reconnaissance on the Michael situation. Mike the situation, if you will. So Trevor runs a budding meth empire, and he has some Chinese businessmen that are interested in making some deals with him. We take the businessmen over to the lab, but our plans get foiled by some incoming bikers. We'll get them next time. It's time to take some revenge on those bikers, so we go to purchase a sniper rifle and fully upgrade it, earning our third achievement, Pimp My Sidearm. We cause some destruction to the bikers' setup, which includes stealing a couple of their planes. This is the introduction to flying in this game, and if I was going to complain about anything in GTA 5, it's these default keyboard controls. My method in the end is using a controller for all flying because we'll be doing it a lot, but at least I got this funny shot where I closed the controls menu and immediately crashed into the ground. Once we get those planes landed, we meet back up with Tao Chang and his translator, who tell us they aren't going with Trevor Phillips' meth anymore and have instead switched to an operation run by the O'Neill brothers. This won't work for us, so we go to take them out and blow up their operation, which gives us a sick cool guys don't look at explosions moment. We meet back up with Wade, who has accidentally managed to track down Michael in witness protection, so it's time to head down and pay him a visit. We take one last jab at the bikers and get another stunning view as we overlook the city we're heading into. Wade happens to have a cousin who lives in Los Santos, and he's so kind he agrees to let Trevor and Wade stay over for as long as they need. We earn our 4th achievement for dropping an unsuspecting victim off at the cult in the mountains. It's not a story plot, don't worry about it. We walk Trevor over to Michael's house, and did somebody say yoga? Our reception is mixed, to say the least. Trevor had no idea that Michael lived after the bank robbery went bad and has assumed Michael was killed and Brad was arrested for the last 9 years. Trevor is taking a look at the family and notices Michael's daughter isn't around. Well, it turns out she's auditioning for the show Shame or Fame and is about to look like a fool in front of all of America, so Michael and Trevor have to go get her. Of course, that situation breaks down and ends with the boys chasing down Ryan Seacrest. Things are good for now, and we earn the achievement of Friendship Resurrected. Another benefit of living with Wade's cousin is his cool job down at the docks, where we get to play the best minigame of all, drive a slow crane carrying a crate around. But our real goal is to get a closer look at the container ship guarded by Merryweather security that Trevor wants to rob. So we go back to the apartment and make our plans for the next heist. Another GTA classic is the huge number of collectibles that you can find. We'll get back to these in the post game, but I technically started the mission here. Then we get our first look at the sniper from the start of the game 9 years later. Agent Dave Norton was a big part of Michael's plot to get out of the crime game and into witness protection, in quotes, while also making a name for himself. However, now that Trevor is back, things have become a little bit more complicated. Now Dave needs us to be a little more proactive in going on some government missions for him. Dave sends us to a coroner's office since we're so good at playing dead. We do a little bit of recon before fleeing the scene. We stop by to warn Franklin that he doesn't want to get mixed up in this, but hey, the kid's loyal. Next we walk up to lunch with the FIB with a totally non-suspicious gun wound in the chest. Here we meet Agent Steve Haynes. He's an agency buddy of Dave's who found out about our witness protection situation, and now he wants us to do even more work to counteract other government agencies. We need to go track down some guy named Mr. K, and of course our crew got dragged in with us, so now we all get to go on the government raid. We break into the government office and free Mr. K and bring him back to the empty lot so he can go free. Ah, the other agency took him. Probably should have seen that coming. We do another awesome mandatory minigame in yoga that ends with Michael trying to attack Amanda's instructor, Fabian. After Jimmy drugs us and takes our car, the rest of the family decides to move out of Michael's house for a little while. But hey, at least Franklin is doing well. We earn the achievement Trading Pure Alpha for earning a profit on the stock market. Now that Trevor and Franklin have met, Trevor decides to stop by Franklin's house for some sick bro time. Lamar comes over too to make things even better, and the fellas decide to go on a quick drug run. We stop by a house that is very familiar to anyone that played GTA San Andreas, but of course none of our plans can go off without a hitch, and we end up in a shootout to escape Grove Street. After the mission, we do a little bit of Trevor gameplay and notice that he seems to be getting emails from Brad in prison, but from Michael's perspective, we know Brad is dead. Something fishy is going on. No time to dwell on that though, because we're back to working with the FIB. We won't get deep into this mission because it's not super great in retrospect, but basically Trevor tortures Mr. K and Michael kills some guy down at the beach. Back to our heist prep, Trevor steals a submarine, which is pretty sick until you have to drive it. The plane controls are bad, and so are the submarine controls, but the submarine is also slow and boring. One more stop before the big heist, Steve tells us we need to break into an armored car, so we have that to look forward to in our future. Back to the boat heist, the boys meet up at Trevor's apartment to go over the plan. Lester is in the hospital, so he can't chip in on this one. This is a pretty cool mission where Michael boards the boat to plant bombs, and Franklin overlooks the bridge sniping guys that come close. Eventually we blow up the boat, which launches our loot down to the bottom of the ocean, where we drive the submarine for a cool hour to go collect the drop. We recover the loot, and we're all ready to sell it until Lester makes a special trip down from the hospital to tell us we will all be hunted down by every government body in the world if we go through with Trevor's plan. So we return the wreckage, but at least we earn the subversive achievement. We've made a little bit of money now, so we upgrade Franklin's house and we get our prep missions for Steve's heist done. This heist is nice and quick. Once we have everything done, we gather up the boys and we're ready to launch in. We block the road with a garbage truck and ram the armored car from the side with a tow truck. We use some C4 to open up the back of the armored car and grab our goodies. Of course, this is a major heist in the middle of the city, so it ends with a multi-angle shootout where we need to switch between all three characters to get optimal positioning. Michael drops off the files we recovered to a billionaire named Devin Weston. Michael is a big fan of old movies, and Devin happens to have a hookup with a guy named Solomon Richards, so Michael can help work on a movie set. We also earn the achievement Blitzed for finishing up that heist. Michael heads over to meet up with Solomon, and he needs some help getting his cast and crew to act right, so we take it upon ourselves to step in. After we get that done, Solomon offers us a position as an executive producer on this movie. Devin Weston really has something for the whole crew. Michael put him into contact with Franklin since Franklin was looking to climb up through the ranks. Devin gives us a deal to steal 5 rare cars he wants for his collection, but he wants our whole team to be on this first pickup. Franklin challenges 2 guys to a race where Michael and Trevor pose as cops and chase them all down before stealing both cars and returning to Devin's garage. We're looking to get paid, but Devin doesn't want to cooperate until all 5 cars are delivered, so I guess we'll need to get back on that. The next car mission involves Trevor flying in a helicopter to track the owner of a rare vehicle while Franklin closes in on the ground before dropping it off to Devin. Trevor gets an interesting text from Martine Madrazo asking us to stop by to pick up a job. Martine's cousin has taken some of Martine's files and is flying away, so it's up to us to stop him. But he's already up in the air, so what can we do? Well, obviously, we take a super powerful gun to shoot it down while Trevor races down the mountain following the descent. We grab the files and take them to Madrazo. When we meet back up, it turns out Trevor wasn't pleased with the amount Martine was looking to pay, so he did what anyone would do and kidnapped his wife in lieu of payment. So now Michael and Trevor are stuck hiding out at Trevor's trailer, and we get to play as Franklin in the city as we earn the achievement A Fair Day's Pay. We steal car number 4 from the set of an action movie, but this time as we're making our delivery, Lamar has followed us in and made contact with Devin. Lamar is looking to make the same amount Franklin has been promised, so Devin sets him up to help out on our future car heists. For some reason, a couple of the cutscenes got a little laggy during this portion of the game, but that will go away soon. Thankfully, the most unaccommodating people we work with have agreed to come meet with us in Trevor's meth lab. The FIB wants us to do another raid on an FIB lab to recover some nerve gas, but they aren't that accommodating. We need a $2 million helicopter that they can't get away with providing us, so now we need to find some way to track that down. We call up Lester to see if he can set up something for us. We do some investigating on a local bank in the middle of nowhere, but when we trip the alarm to see the response time, the bank is swarmed with cops immediately, which tells us there seems to be a lot of money there the cops don't want to lose. Seems like a lot to be gained, so we set up another one of Lester's classic heists. Did you forget about the O'Neill brothers, that farm Trevor blew up earlier in the game? Well, Rockstar didn't, so now we go on a little detour mission where we track the remaining brothers through the woods. It was nice to have the boys all back together for a bit. We do our setups for the bank heist and we get everyone together for raid time. We bust into the bank and start up the process of drilling into the vault. The police response time is slower today, assuming it's another false alarm. But the situation gets a little more serious when we burst out of the bank in our full riot gear, ready to shoot our way through anything. An absolutely normal response to a bank robbery is to begin flying the army in, and then when that doesn't work, a full-on tank. Franklin is our getaway driver and does a sick drive-by pickup before we escape through a chicken factory onto the railroad. We have the money for the fancy helicopter and a little bit to keep for ourselves as we earn the achievement Small Town Big Job. While we're hanging out in Trevor's trailer, Ron tells us about a monthly train Trevor wants to rob. We get to the dang train, CJ. And then we crash the stolen train into another oncoming train to drop it down into the river below where Michael was waiting. We once again fight off Merryweather security before recovering the loot. When Trevor planned this train heist, he expected to recover some sort of weapon, but actually what we come away with is a little statue which might help to smooth things out with Martine. Trevor doesn't want to do that until Michael makes him an offer he can't refuse. There's been some discussion of the big one, a robbery they always wanted to do but could never figure out. They want to rob the Union Depository because it's effectively infinite money and it's never been done before. Michael says he's in if they pay off Martine and Trevor agrees. Now that the FIB boys have their $2 million helicopter, we can go on to the government lab raid. One problem is it's a 6-person job and we only brought 3, so the agency boys are coming with us this time. So Michael and the feds break into the lab, neutralizing all the scientists and guards that get in their way. We grab the nerve agent and shoot our way through the oncoming guards. We load the agent onto the helicopter and we're making our escape until Steve realizes the agency response team is going to catch us, so he shoots himself in the leg so we can get away. It seems noble, but it's really self-preservation. After that mission, we get confirmation that Martine is no longer hunting us and we're welcome back in Los Santos. Now that we can have everyone back together and we aren't working on a government mission, we can begin planning for the big one. The Union Depository is thought to be completely unrobbable, but if we can pull it off, we would have so much money we wouldn't know what to do with it. So this thing is actually happening. We drive up to begin doing some scouting and even get some overhead views of potential escape routes. While Trevor wants to rob the Union Depository, there's something else he wants to do as well. He wants the crew to finally bust Brad out of prison. But when Michael seems to be a little bit cagey about the situation, Trevor asks an important question. Who was buried in Michael's place when they faked his death? Michael isn't very forthcoming with an answer, so Trevor decides to head up to North Yankton to solve this mystery for himself. We get another excellent shot of Trevor flying off into a storm when Ron texts us saying Chang's crew is looking for us again. We can't focus on that right now though. Trevor arrives at the grave and starts to dig it up. Michael was so chill about Trevor finding the secret that he decided to fly up after him for the big reveal. Brad was killed for Michael's plot and buried in his place, and Dave had been stringing Trevor along the whole 9 years since. After a brief showdown between Trevor and Michael, it turns out Chang's men have actually hunted Trevor all this way. We try to fight our way out, but they manage to capture Michael. Trevor returns to Los Santos and we earn the achievement, The Moment of Truth. Next up, it's time for us to finish out that car collection mission we started earlier. Lamar picked up the last car with no issues, so we load it up onto the trailer and take the long drive all the way up to the north coast of the map. It turns out that easy robbery Lamar pulled off was actually being tracked by the police, so Franklin pulls a sick move and jumps out of the back with one of the stolen cars to fend off the ride from the police. We drop all 5 cars off to Molly, but she says Devin Weston decided he's going to hold off on making our payment until a future date. We got scammed. Franklin calls Lester to see if he's seen Michael since his contact scammed him, but Lester isn't seeing any activity from Michael at all. We ask Trevor about it, and he knows that Michael has been grabbed by Chang's crew, but he doesn't want to help us look for Michael because he's still a little mad about the faking his death thing. Fair enough. But we've said it before and we'll say it again, Franklin is loyal, so now we're using some of Lester's tech to try to hunt down Michael's approximate location. We race through the streets following a cell phone location ping before we burst into the hideout and free Michael. We saved Michael from the gang, for now, but it's really Trevor he needs to be worried about getting him. Now that we're back in town, we learn Michael's movie is going ahead, so that's a positive. Not all is well though. The agency boys inform us that the last operation went so poorly that the Bureau is on to Steve and Dave's antics, and we need to burst into the Bureau headquarters to find out what they know. This is the most dangerous mission we've been on yet, so of course we do some more research, stealing a janitor's identity for some easy access. Of course we can't go straight into the mission though, because it's time for Michael's family to come back. They've been gone for a long time, and Jimmy comes over to extend an olive branch. We go collect Amanda and Tracy before attending a nice family therapy session. Seems like things are coming together as they agree to move back in. Trevor has these missions called rampages, where he basically goes on a murder spree in a random area. I finished all 5 of them here, and we earned the achievement Red Mist. Returning to Solomon's office, it turns out Devin didn't really want the movie to be made, so he's decided to scrap everything we worked on. We can't stand by and let that happen though, and we deal with Molly. With our recon out of the way already, it's time for us to get our plans in place for the raid on the Bureau headquarters. We make a couple choices and have some real enthusiasm instilled in us when Lester burns down his factory, fearing the worst will happen on this mission. We do a very Saints Row 3 helicopter dive onto the roof of the Bureau, only missing power, before we hit the perfect spy maneuvers and play the greatest hacking minigame of all time. Watch Dogs, take notes. We shoot our way out of the Bureau before making our escape in a conveniently disguised ambulance. We didn't really expect to make it through that mission, but we're video game protagonists, so we did fine. We earn achievement 13, the government gimps, as well. Now that we've pulled off the raid on the government agency, we meet up with Dave one last time to tell him we're done working with him, as that was the agreement. Of course, things won't work out like that though. Steve Haynes shows up and is a little angry about how things have been handled, and he attempts to arrest us and Dave to stop us from testifying against him in court if all of our missions are discovered. We do get another one of the greatest scenes in this game right here though. The IAA shows up having found out about our dealings. It turns out Agent Sanchez, who was with us the whole time, actually betrayed us as well, reporting our activities to the FIB, and even Merryweather Security showed up to spoil our fun as well. So now we get the big showdown with all of the military bodies we've been looking for. We start to shoot our way out until we get interrupted by a scary looking helicopter pinning us down. But luckily for us, Trevor has showed up to make the save just in time. Things aren't 100% good between Trevor and Michael yet, but Trevor is willing to ignore the years of lies for one final shot at the big score. They need everyone from the crew to be there to pull it off, so we're going to be working together one more time. Meanwhile, Franklin is having some issues of his own. His boy Lamar once again got set up and captured by the local gang, so he mobilizes Trevor and Michael to help rescue him. After we drop Lamar off, Franklin gets a visit from Dave and Steve, who tell Franklin he has one more job to do. He needs to kill Trevor and everyone can walk away. We're setting up the ending of the game here, so we'll get back to this in a minute. It's the night of Michael's big movie premiere, and it turns out Devin isn't too happy with what happened to Molly, so he moves Merryweather Security to launch an attack on Michael's home. We make it back just in time to defend Michael's family, but we need to deal with the Devin situation soon. But first we need to make our move on the Union Depository while we still have time. We lay out Lester's plan for the heist and grab some extremely high-powered tools to help get the job done. Then, the day we've been waiting for is finally here. It's time to rob the Union Depository. Michael causes a distraction in the lobby of the bank while we take a high-powered drill and burrow into the vaults from the tunnel below. We defend our loot from the incoming police before we make the gold pickup with a helicopter. Michael makes his escape from the lobby while we drop the gold off onto a train to sell later. We all celebrate our huge success pulling off something no one has ever done when Trevor tells Michael they're good and he forgives him. That's a cute moment, but what's even cuter is earning our 14th achievement, the big one. When Franklin returns home after the big heist, he gets a knock on his door from one Devin Weston. We expect him to be dropping off the money for the cars, but he's actually here to tell us he has one more job for us. He needs us to kill Michael. So now we have the feds telling us to kill Trevor and Devin telling us to kill Michael, and we get such a cool choice right here where the obviously correct choice is to choose option C, Death Wish. We call up Lester and he has a great idea. We can send a tip to the FIB and Devin that all of the gold we just stole is being melted down in the city to lure everyone together and we can jump them all at once. Our 3 main characters get brought together again and we fight our way through a couple waves of enemies, but the main guys we were after didn't happen to show up. We just took out some regular dudes. So now our 3 main characters each have their own individual villain who we need to take out before we can all move on to Devin Weston together. Trevor's main enemy is Wei Chang, Franklin has Stretch, who kept setting up Lamar, and Michael has Steve Haynes. To show how much these boys need each other, we rotate around and have each of them move to take out one of the other's main antagonists. First, Franklin rides up to shoot Mr. Chang before fleeing the scene, Michael starts a gang war when he kills Stretch, and Trevor hits a nasty no-scope on Steve Haynes while he's riding on a Ferris wheel. While we were working on those, Lester has managed to track down Devin Weston, and he happens to be hiding out at his house, likely place for him to be. We shoot the few Merryweather security guards he has left before we capture him and load him up in the car. We drive him down to the coast to a discreet location where we wait for Michael and Franklin to show up. Franklin hits him with the cold line, "I chose C." We push Devin and his car into the ocean, and for some reason it explodes. The boys are all friends again. We manage to take out all of the people who are making our lives hard, and we've come away with enough cash that we never need to worry again. We earn the achievement to live or die in Los Santos, and we have finished GTA's story mode. This was a fantastic game, and I'm so glad I got to play through it again, but if you look at the top right of my screen, you may notice we only have 15 out of 43 achievements, so we still have a ton of stuff left to do, and we can start taking a look at all of that right now. There are a number of businesses our main characters can purchase throughout the world, and we kind of ignored that up to this point. Franklin can buy a taxi company, and when we complete a private fare, we earn the achievement All's Fair in Love and War. Trevor can purchase an airfield, and when we finish up all of his arms deliveries, we earn the achievement TP Industries Arms Race. And Michael is such an environmentalist, he owns a business collecting nuclear waste from the bottom of the ocean that gives us the achievement Waste Management. Another way Trevor can make a little money is through finding bail bond targets. When we turn our first one in, we earn the achievement Wanted Alive or Alive. In the postgame, we have plenty of money, so we fully upgrade Franklin's bike to earn the achievement Los Santos Customs. And we earn the achievement A Lot of Cheddar by investing a total of $200 million in the stock market by buying and selling over and over again. We talked about this game having a load of collectibles a little bit earlier. This first one is a little unusual though. There are a total of 50 stunt jumps around the map, and once we successfully land all of them, we earn the achievement Show Off. There are also 50 letter scraps hidden around the map that spell out the confession letter of the man who killed Lenora Johnson. "We don't respect murderers around here," says Franklin, a man who would never shoot a gun. So anyway, we track down the murderer and shoot him with our gun to earn the achievement A Mystery Solved. The collectible mission we started earlier was to track down 50 spaceship parts around the map, and we finished that one up here. Franklin is the designated collectible guy, so we turn those in and get the achievement From Beyond the Stars and a cool car to boot. After that, we do a little bit of a combo. We fly under the 50 designated bridges, and then we perform the 15 designated knife flight maneuvers to earn the Close Shave achievement. I expected the flying challenges to be harder, but at this point we pretty much have it down. Another benefit of finding all of those collectibles is our map is pretty much fully uncovered now, so it doesn't take too much more for us to earn the achievement San Andreas Sightseer for finishing it up. You might have noticed in some of the previous clips, Michael was wearing a strange blue outfit. That outfit is worn by the Epsilon cult, which Michael can be inducted into. This is a long plot line that essentially boils down to it being a scam, and when we finish up the final mission of it, we earn the achievement Kiflam. It's always nice to see some old friends. We call up Franklin and Trevor and start up a little bit of a ruckus. Once we've maintained a 3-star wanted level for 3 minutes, we earn the achievement 3-Man Army. And Michael just feels so bad about that last little adventure after swearing off his life of crime that he rides a jet ski out into the middle of the ocean. We get eaten by a shark and earn the achievement Out of Your Depth, but still we persist. Another weird collectible in this game are the peyote plants that transform your character into an animal briefly. It's time to bang out some of the rarest achievements in this game right here by entering Director Mode. In Director Mode, you can play with different characters and environments. We enter with this cool hog and earn the achievement Cryptozoologist for collecting all of the animals. Animal Lover for entering Director Mode as an animal, and First Time Director for entering Director Mode at all. And we also take this hog on an adventure all around all of the locations available to earn the achievement Location Scout. We end with the hog on the mountain. Look how majestic he is. After that, we enter Director Mode as this zombie who is in the Special Characters category to earn the achievement Humans of Los Santos. We enter with Chris Formage, the leader of that cult from before, to earn the achievement Cult Movie. And we enter as this dashing fella who you might recognize when we do the GTA Online All Achievements video, but for now we just earn the Method Actor achievement. And finally, we enter as a story character to earn the achievement Ensemble Piece. If you thought those achievements were fun, whoo boy, hold on to your hat. Now we get to record a short clip using the in-game recording software, and then we get to export that video over and over again 10 times to earn the achievement Majestic. And the fun cannot stop there. We get to link our Gmail account to our Rockstar account and upload one of those clips to YouTube to earn the achievement Vinewood Visionary. I love playing video games so much. We'll get to the fun ones soon, but one more weird one really quick. First person in this game makes me feel motion sick, so I got to leave my game open for 15 hours idling in first person mode to earn the achievement A New Perspective. The next achievement is a good one. We need to earn a gold medal in all applicable hobbies and pastimes. There are a ton of these, but some examples are some races, some shooting challenges, and the triathlons. After we've completed all relevant tasks, we earn the achievement Multidisciplined, and we only have 2 achievements left. So every mission and side mission in this game gives you a rating when you finish it from bronze to gold. To get gold, you need to complete all of the tasks you're assigned. These can be things like an imposed time limit, needing to maintain certain shooting accuracies, or just not crashing your car. Those sound easy enough, but not every mission is created equally, both in length and amount of fun you're going to have replaying it. Eventually though, we managed to persist through, getting a gold rating in 70 individual missions to earn the achievement Solid Gold, baby! And now we only have 1 achievement remaining. The final achievement is for reaching 100% game completion. I tried to track this on my own, but I actually messed it up a little bit, so the best method for tracking your progress is through this helpful tool on the Rockstar website. We've actually already done a lot of it, so we just need to finish out the last miscellaneous task, but we also have a ton of hobbies and pastimes left to finish. We purchase some more buildings to close out the miscellaneous task, and then we start the long process of the hobbies. Just to mention a few, we wrap up the shooting challenges, some jet ski races, and some flying courses, and finally on a motorcycle race we earn the achievement Career Criminal, and we have officially done everything in GTA 5's single player. So this is normally the part of the video where I say how did we do, and we go over how long it took me and how long it should have taken based on howlongtobeat.com. Well, the answer is I do not know. Howlongtobeat.com lists this game at about 90 hours to 100%. Based on our in-game time, it took us about 64 hours to 100%, but that will be a little bit off based on times that we didn't save the game, we just reset. Our time on Steam is at 212 hours, but that will also include a hefty amount of time dedicated to GTA Online, so I don't know, we were probably around the average, but also I had played this game to 100% completion before, so I know the story very well, and I could kind of beeline things that I wanted to get done earlier. Thoughts on the game? I mean, there isn't much to say, man. It is the GOAT for a reason. Replaying this game earlier this year was fantastic, and honestly making this video, going back through all of the footage and seeing all of the cutscenes again, it kind of got me wanting to play through the story again, and I literally did this like a couple months ago to get the 100%. It is crazy the hold this game has on me, and I am so excited for GTA 6 whenever it comes to PC, hopefully at launch date this time. I hope you enjoyed this one too. I put a lot of effort into this edit and this recording, so I hope that is appreciated. If you've got any comments for me, please feel free to leave those down below, as well as recommending other games you want me to take a look at. As always, there's a little bit of lag time, so if you recommend something that I want to check out, I might not get to it right away, but I am keeping note of everything that gets recommended in the comments. I also appreciate all of the likes and subscriptions that you guys leave, because it really helps encourage me to keep making these kinds of videos. But until next time, I hope to see you there. Thank you so much for checking out this video. See ya!